This episode of the Simon Racing Report is brought to you by the Simon Racing Report's website. That is the SimonRacingReport.com. If you visit the website and you find this logo over there, you're at the correct website. And I think we also have this, we've got the SimonRacingReport.com registered and Simon Racing Report registered. So we're very elite here at the podcast. But please check out the podcast as well. It is on YouTube, of course, as well. You might be watching this on YouTube, listening on iTunes, Stitcher. You might have even be downloading this from the RSS feed. Who knows? And don't forget to like the podcast page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter as well, at JohnnyS8. Plenty of all those details are down below as well, the website, everything else. So check them out, please, and subscribe. Leave a comment, too. Good to see some comments for the first video podcast last time. To join the discussion. What else can you do? You can like, share, subscribe, dislike, don't dislike. You can do that though. I don't know. There's so many things you can do. The next thing I want to plug is check out the Simon Racing Report's first column of the year. That's my column. And it is about injuries in Formula One since the year 2000. Very good read as well. We cover every injury of Formula One since 2000 and sort of categorize them. And just discuss, what was meaningless, what was pretty serious, and what kept drivers out for so long. So that's the main thing we see there. So next guest, Steliyan Chepilevski, good friend of mine. He's someone that we became really close, I think, just talking through the Rallycross World Championship. Me covering it as a broadcaster or a commentator, him as a driver, of course, as well. Did pretty well in the World Championship. He's raced rally in the real world as well. And most of all, he's got the world's best, and if it's not the world's best, it's one of for sure, sim racing rig out there. I'm not talking about abs or fitness or anything like that, although he does have that. I'm talking about his setup. Like, he's got a full cockpit and everything. He's it's like the complete opposite of what I would do. I used to just say, give me a desk, give me a wheel, pedals, that's it. I don't need all this fancy stuff, going on. But I think, he really loves it, and he shows his passion in his hobby. And I guess that's why a lot of people are probably sim racing. You wouldn't really be doing it unless you're like just trying to find some real world practice or something else. But anyway, let's get to it. Steliyan Chepilevski, episode 79, I'm pretty sure. All right, I'm excited. Steliyan Chepilevski. What's the worst pronunciation you've ever gotten of your name? I feel like I've got it correct, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
That was my issue my entire life. I mean, even in Bulgaria,
Yeah.
my teachers, and then everybody get it wrong. So it's super difficult. But to be honest, guys, you get it every time right, really.
Oh, okay. I like that. I have to, because now you're one of the best rallycross sim racers in the world. So I've got to get it correct. And also, I have to say, if not one of, it is the world's most awesome sim racing setup that anyone's ever seen that we're looking at right now. When did we first start talking about doing this podcast? Because I swear it was at least 6 months ago, even more. And then I sort of suggested to you, hey, I might be going to video soon. Let's do one as a video podcast, and we can show your wacky sim racing setup. And here it is now, finally.
Yeah, man, I work for a very long time, be able to create all this stuff around me. Actually, long. Probably got me about a year to finish everything. But the final is just great. I love it, and I put so much love. I put really so much love into this, and I'm so inspired to show people what actually sim racing is and how deep we can go into sim racing is.
Yeah.
The feeling is almost real.
No, I love it. And I think how did we become a lot closer? Because we knew each other before the Rallycross World Championship. But I feel like we started talking a lot more, especially after the races, in between, discussing facts and everything. So I don't know, was that it? Or was there something else? I feel like we started talking a lot more as the World Championship went on.
It was great time, man. It was great time there. Yeah, I join almost every time after the races. I join the the commentary room. Yeah, the commentary room. And I really, guys, I love your work. Really, I love it. And you are definitely one of my best commentators.
Aw, I'll
And
take it to heart.
yeah, I say that because every time I watch back the stream and hear your commentary, I always feel like you are in the driver mind. Like whatever happens on the roads, you're in. You know what the decisions are, why the decisions actually the driver takes, and that's brilliant. You have so much knowledge about it, and I love it. I really love it.
No, I appreciate that. You're my inspiration. No, we're never getting too lovey-dovey
Oh,
here.
thanks.
But so the thing is, can I just get this out of the way? This is going to distract me too much. Is looking at your sim setup. Can we start talking about this first? Can you show us around? I didn't even know. And you, by the way, you have multiple camera angles, so we're getting very advanced here for the podcast. But where do you want to start? I don't even. You've got so many things. I feel like we're going to be here for half an hour analyzing this.
Yeah, so let's guide you around. So I'm gonna show you actually one picture.
Yeah.
And you can see on that picture I am running two computers to be able to stream that way because I'm really hardcore VR user. I try to bring the sim much close for myself, for my feeling to reality.
Yeah.
But from other hands, I really love streaming, and streaming on VR is not really nice.
Nah.
It's a bit, yeah,
You get
the
too
quality is not,
it's hard to follow, and the thing is, it feels like you're so zoomed out when you watch someone drive in VR. Like when you see it with human eyes, it's so much better. Like for example, when I watch the cockpit cam in Formula One, people find it so exhilarating. But I tell them when you're actually sitting in the cockpit, not that I have ever in a Formula One car, but when you're sitting in that cockpit, it's actually a lot closer and a lot slower than you think, and that's where field of view comes in.
Yeah, the problem with the VR is because what you see actually on the screen is just from one eye, not the both eyes. So that's why bring the picture super close and doesn't feel realistic, really. I don't know when they're gonna fix this. I'm super excited about the future of virtual reality. Yeah, this thing is just the next level for me. When I put it first time, blows my mind, really. I felt in love. I mean, I was iRacing user for about 5 years already, and all the places were, like home, every track.
Yeah.
Once I put the headset, I felt like I was already digital, and they put me into the game. And that was the best feeling ever, yeah. Yeah.
What's next?
As you can see on the picture, I just want to explain on the picture. You can see the both computers. The top one is my main gaming computer, which runs the VR.
Yeah.
And then
those
the
are the
bottom
things
one.
with the green lights, correct? Just confirming.
Sorry? Oh yeah.
They look like computers from the year 3050.
Man, the green color. The thing is, I don't have actually favorite colors, and I have favorite mix, which is black and white. That's what gives me something inside. I mean, I have some feelings. But what happened with the green colors is 2 years ago, I was in the Sim Expo, and then I see that cockpit from ACL they had there, and it was black and green. And I felt in love, and I was looking at that point for new cockpit. Yeah, and I take that, black and green colors, and then I start, attach only green things.
I like it.
And
yeah, it's that fluoro green as well. Like it's a nice, and it mixes well with the black. It stands out. The whole cockpit. I didn't think about that until you told me. Even the is that the handbrake? I think even the handbrake is green.
Yeah, this actually is. So let me switch to other camera angle so I can show about this. One was. I don't know if the lighting is good right now and
Yeah, it's
if
all right.
people are able to see it, but that's actually a sequential gearbox.
Mm,
I love using this while practicing or making videos.
mm,
But once we are in the pro series, I prefer the pedals,
yeah.
and I use this like handbrake because from time to time I need it. It's not the way you can drive fast with handbrake, but actually on Atlanta, you can't go away without handbrake.
Yeah.
And then there is another shifter, the H shifter from Fanatec, which I used to love a lot, the MX-5. I love this little car,
You are
and
a fan of the MX-5. You raced that for
I
so many
am.
years when you first came to iRacing.
I am. I am. I love this car. For beginners, this car is just perfect.
Yeah.
But if you go advanced, man, this car creates the best racing you can experience in crazy. It's so close.
Mm. So what's next?
So what's next? And I built the second computer and put triple screen setup
Mm-hmm.
because it looks quite nice for streaming.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna put the third camera and you can see how it looks actually from
Mm.
the third camera on the side. So I have the triple screen. Then I have really nice seat with head protection, which is quite difficult with the headset because I have to turn my head around and I touch it every time, but I get used to that too.
Mm.
I have the direct drive wheel,
Which is very important today in modern day
which
sim racing,
is
a direct drive
which is
wheel.
super. Yeah,
Wait,
this is
so
super
can you
important.
tell me if let's say there's someone who's never had a direct drive wheel before, what do you feel? What's the difference? Like, are you more consistent with a direct drive wheel?
What happened with the direct drive wheel is you are super synced with the sim
Mm.
because there is zero delay between sim and inputs from the wheel.
Yeah.
And the first feeling when you start driving with the direct drive wheel is you don't drive anymore on what are you seeing. And I was super surprised when I see back my videos. I see I make so many corrections without even notice anything happen on the screen. That means I was synced with the car. So right now with
Mm.
the direct drive wheel, I definitely drive a car. I mean, not just visually, but on feelings.
Yeah.
Really feel the car, and you can react on time. That's the main advantage for the direct drive wheels.
Yeah. And I
Just
feel like maybe not every, but most of the top sim racers in the world are now investing in those. And it's just this advanced thing. Whereas I remember, like, at least 15 years ago, I think your wheel didn't really matter as long as you had like a Momo or something basic, a G25, whenever that came out. And if you had one of those wheels, you were one of the quickest in the world. I know you came into sim racing. When was it again? Like late 2008, 2009. I can't remember when you came in actually. Or was it 2011?
yeah, 2011. I joined the iRacing 2011, but I was into sim racing for many years. I started 2007 with Richard Burns Rally.
Yes, the best rally
Yeah,
sim out there.
man, it was the best, really. Still
It
sticks.
still is.
Still, I mean, if iRacing didn't make that brutal job on Rallycross, Richard Burns was still now is just the second best.
But the thing with Richard Burns Rally is people forget that was already a good sim before all the mods came in. Like that, just original
Was
cars and everything was just amazing to drive. Yeah, you'd spend hours on that, and what made it so good was that it was so realistic. Like if you fell off into a ditch, for example, and damaged the suspension, like you'd damage it. It wouldn't be like any other racing game where you can get away with smacking into trees and walls and everything. It's like, oh, here's a 15-minute stage. I'm driving. I'm doing well, and one mistake, you're into the wall and you're done. And that's how rally is. I mean, you drove rally in the real world.
you know, I learned to drive the real cars through Richard Burns Rally. I mean the physics
Yeah.
they had they had there was so realistic. So that was the sim which gave me the understanding of how you have to drive the car.
Yeah.
And I spent so much time on this sim, like to become competitive. I drive 2 years every day, 8 hours per day, just to learn the stages and to, yeah, man, that was crazy. But at the end, after 2 years, I almost win the entire championship. I take many titles in different classes,
Yeah.
and I missed the big championship just because I had to move from Greece. At that time, I was living in Greece, and I moved to UK at that time. I missed the last few weeks.
And you're still in the
But
UK?
no, I'm right now in Germany.
Oh.
I used to be in UK for 2 years,
Oh.
but
I
last
should
4 years I live in Germany. Yeah.
I should know from your flag on TeamSpeak. You get people like that who come in and you know they're traveling and you're like, oh wait a second, they're normally Italian, but why do they have an African flag or something to their name? I don't know. That's never gonna happen. But you get what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
weird
yeah,
stuff like that. You see, TeamSpeak is the stalker of the century.
yeah. You know, if you watch my iRacing history, you can see I have so many teams titles because I win with E, how you call this, E something, teams,
Yeah.
and then I win few with UK because
Yeah.
I'm actually still UK and Ireland community, but I have the German flag right now because I use German we call this credit card.
Mm.
That's how iRacing create the flags.
Yeah. If if I had to So wait a second. I'm just confused now. I saw a picture of you before when you were racing. And can we look at these actually? When you were racing in your rally career, did you have a Russian flag next to your car? That's why I'm a little bit confused right now. I'm trying to think because Bulgaria is I mean, I don't know. I've got to touch up on my Bulgarian history, but I know it was part of the Ottoman Empire. There's other stuff going on, but I'm like, why do you have a Russian flag next to your name?
No, I never had the Russian flag. They're quite similar. Just Russian is blue with blue, and Bulgarian is with green. I mean, white, green, and red.
I'll tell you what. I probably saw it's probably in the shadows. I'm looking at it now. It
Yeah,
must be the
yeah,
lighting or
probably.
something because it looks like the Russian flag, but I can probably see why I can see it as blue.
Yeah, I'm showing just right now a picture of my first rally,
Yeah.
which I came I came on this rally second, in my class, and I wasn't prepared at all, and it was the weird feeling, starting your first ever stage against people you don't know, and you are not sure if really are you actually good in driving or you just think you're good.
Yeah.
And I remember my my heart was into my head before, the last 30 seconds before the green light, and there was 15-kilometer stage, and I didn't know the car well. It was
Mm.
just ready before the race. I haven't practiced the car. I start that first stage, and when we finish the stage, I was waiting to see my time, the desk, and when I see I was somewhere in the middle, it was, the best feeling in the world. Okay, we are here,
Mm.
so now we can push. And yeah, at the end of that rally, I finished second my class. And all that was just coming from sim racing. I mean, I was already 30 years old. I hadn't had any racing experience before. All I
Mm.
had was simulators.
Yeah.
I practiced myself with my cars in the middle of the night. I used to put alarm in the middle of the night when everybody sleeps, so I put my car into the mount, start driving stages
Mm.
alone. It was crazy, but that was the way I practiced, never on slick. So, and then next picture is another 2 years later with the same car, the Citroen C2.
Mm.
I finished again second.
which is a very good rally car, can I say? Citroen C2.
Yeah, it
Fun to
was.
drive. The small ones are always the fun ones.
Yeah, I never had the money to build a really big car, powerful car. But even this little bastard cost me 60,000 K to
Hmm.
build it. So yeah, this sport is just super expensive.
But what I
And
love about that is people forget in racing, especially someone coming from your background, you don't have the car put together for you. Didn't you spend like 6 months or 7 months or something putting that whole car together, trying to get it ready? And I think that's something that people forget when it comes to sort of club racing or racing at a lower level. Because all you see these days, especially when I watch Formula One, is someone crashes into a barrier and they have 100 mechanics working on the car to get it ready for 2 hours. In the real world, you have a punctured tire and you send to get the tires changed. It's like a 4-hour job. And I'm like, in Formula One, it takes 4 seconds to change tires. So
yeah,
this is something people forget is that you spent so much time putting that car together for the competition.
if I tell, yeah, my story is crazy. First, to build that car took me close to 2 years,
Oh,
and then for the first rally, the car was out of the garage just 2 hours before I put my car. I lived that time in Greece and
mm,
I was in Ireland, so I had to put my car in the ferry boat in the ship, and they finished the car just 2 hours before the ship, you know,
mm,
leave the island, and then I had to drive my racing car about 500 kilometers to the place where we're supposed to make the rally.
mm.
And then I put the slicks and just start, my first race without even know what actually is make drive on slicks. I was surprised when slicks get really hot and stick to the tarmac. I remember I turned really hard for one corner and the car just turned so hard in. I didn't expect that because I still expected, my front to move a little bit out.
Yeah.
And I almost hit the tree there. But yeah, it's really hard. I never had like a team behind me, so I had to
Mm.
make friends help me into the rallies, and yeah, it's stressful,
Which
really
and
stressful.
the other stressful part is that you're worrying as you drive. I don't know if you were or not, but a lot of people tell me they worry that if they damage the car, they have to pay for it. And 2 episodes ago, Sebastian Job was on this podcast. When I say 2 episodes ago, it feels like it was 5 years ago. It was in October, November last year. So feel free to listen to that. And Sebastian talked about having his Formula 4 drive and how the fear of crashing the car sort of dropped his confidence sometimes as he drove. I feel like you probably had that as well.
That's the other weird thing. I never had that. I mean, I
Oh,
never think about crashing my car once I race.
yeah.
I'm my fears, probably my worries, not fears, was always my family, because they came to my first rally, and when they see what's going on racing, because actually in my family no one is involved into this. I was just, I don't know, I'm just different than them.
Hmm.
And when they see my first rally, they got super worried about it, and they didn't want it to watch anymore.
Hmm.
But the big problem for me was the last 1 minute when you see the car in front of you start the stage, and then it's your turn and you wait those 60 seconds. That
Yeah.
is the place where your heartbeat is super intensive, and sometimes you feel like your heart is going to blow out your eyeballs. Yeah, it's just crazy that
but
the
but the
blood
thing
pressure
is,
is.
you get that feeling in sim racing too when the lights go out.
I
That's where
get it.
your heart
I get
races
it.
so much.
I I get the same feeling every time I start important race. I get the freaking same feeling, and I really try to get rid of this. And I start to learn some new breathing techniques, not
Yeah.
just because the adrenaline is too high. It's too high, and it's absolutely the same, no matter real or sim.
You never
Crazy.
worried about crashing into You know what I hate about rally is how fans are so close to the circuit or to the course or whatever you call it. Is like you see footage sometimes and the guy's going 90 kilometers an hour and he just barely grazes a person's leg who's like trying to get a photo. Did you have any of that racing? I'd want to know what that feels like as you're driving in the cockpit.
I don't remember to had something like this. I mean, dangerous with people around, but the main thing is once the green light comes, you put first gear and leave the clutch, then you forget about everything. You just start driving. You try to concentrate on the notes, your co-driver, and you just start doing something which is super natural for you.
Mm.
And you get feeling of the car for every next corner because the tires build up good temps and you have the middle of the stage, you have so much grip. It's just crazy with the rally, because they need some time to get hot, like on tracks.
Mm.
And to be honest, I never fear myself. Never, never. Just the
Oh.
pressure, how good can you be after the stage? What will be your times? That's the only thing you think about it.
So you just spoke about breathing techniques and how your heart races at the start of the race. And I remember I read something, some study on F1 drivers, and I noticed, or not they noticed, but they tracked their heart rate. And I think their heart rate would be at the highest at the start of the race and during like pit stop phases and battles and other stuff. But then you spoke about sort of calming your heart rate down using breathing techniques. You're not talking about things like the DeRose method and other stuff.
Actually, I found another method.
Oh, I like this. Tell me.
Yeah, and I'm super excited about that method.
So,
The
so
name
tell us,
of
what is it? Are you allowed to tell
yeah
us, or
the,
is this a
the
secret?
the name of the guy is Phil Hoff. He's Dutchman, and he has this breathing method which goes really really deep into your
Yeah.
primal part of your brain, and actually this thing make your immune system work like crazy. Yeah, you can make your research, but actually the breathing method is to take really deep breaths for about 30 to 40 times and then take everything out and keep as long as you can. Then you breathe deeply again and keep it for 15 seconds and then start over again the same procedure
Mm.
for about 4 times. And man, this change the chemistry into your cells.
Ooh.
And
I might have to try this.
you know, the first change happened to me was every single year in the winter I was
Yeah.
getting sick. And I
Mm.
used to wear a lot of clothes and I was still getting sick. This year, I'm the entire winter working outside t-shirt. And people getting crazy. I get every day 100 questions because I meet through my job every day hundreds
Yeah.
of people. And people ask me, why are you with t-shirt? It's super cold. It's like
That's what I
minus
would
10 or
say.
something.
I
Yeah,
would say that too. You'd hate me as well after a few days.
it's crazy. This thing change everything,
Mm.
everything. And calms you so down. Calms you really down. When you breathe for about 40 times and take everything out,
Yeah.
you will feel your body aching, like vibration, those little vibration, because you put into every cell a lot of oxygen,
Yeah.
and that changed the chemistry of the cell itself.
So wait a
Yes.
second. What's the Dutch guy's name? I didn't understand it before. How do you spell it?
Uh, yeah, let me check because I'm not sure if I spell right the name.
It's Dutch
I'm
names.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to check.
So wait, while you're checking this, you're big on physical fitness, um, all that kind of stuff. Under one big heading, physical fitness. Do you
Yeah,
think
I
that
can.
helps sim racers or no? Do you think it doesn't matter? You can be a chubby, unfit sim racer and still be good.
I can tell you how I came to this point.
Yeah.
Uh, I was quite happy with myself for many years,
Mm.
and I used to race. Actually, for me, myself,
Mm.
my engine to wake up every morning is the passion of sim racing. Really, that is my main fucking love. I
Yeah.
live for that. I love racing, and
Mm.
now I'm into sim racing. So what happened? About a year ago, we started the Rallycross World Championship. So I was already in different level, and I have to deal with young guys who are at top level. And
Yeah.
I'm 42 years old. So I already start having from bad habits and bad nutrition. I already start having these health issues
Yeah.
like headaches and low energy levels, stuff like this. And I said, no, I'm not going to be the guy who make the excuse I'm 40 years old and I'm done. And I start making really deep research about body
Yeah.
biology. So I found so many things and I studied for a year and I still learning new things about body
Mm-hmm.
and nature, and I become different person actually. I never felt so fit. I never felt so high level of energy the entire day.
Yeah.
I get rid of my headaches, actually from all my health issues. They are gone. They are gone for good.
I like it.
And I did all that because I really want to be super competitive, and I have to deal with guys from 15 to 20 something years old,
My
men's
my
who are,
guys, the guys that are
yeah,
the guys that you're jealous of, that they're so much more younger and quicker,
yeah,
and you wish you were like
yeah,
that now,
yeah.
but it comes of age.
But man, the age is excuse. I mean, for me, the age,
Yeah.
if somebody say, okay, I'm too old to do this, for me the
Mm.
age is just with the age you have different responsibility. So definitely, if you have family,
Mm.
you don't have that much time to practice or learn different things. You just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And the thing with the young people is they finish school and then came back home. But it's not about energy. It's not about reaction. I mean, the reaction time, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely slows a little bit down. But I don't think like you really need super fast reaction times to drive a car. You just have to have good understanding of driving,
Yeah.
and you can keep yourself in super good shape for many years.
I mean,
Trust me,
I'm
for me.
I'm trying to think of old world champions or close to world champions or old drivers who did well. Juan Manuel Fangio was one. Damon Hill was a rookie and he was like 77 years old when he made his first debut for Formula One. He was so old. I think he even had white hair in his debut. And we had Michael Schumacher had a pole position at 2012 Monaco and still is the worst penalty of all time, where he had that 5 place penalty. He would have won that race. You had Juan Pablo Montoya like 5 years ago. He was in his 40s or something, or late, like 39, and almost won the IndyCar championship. So again, yeah, reaction time makes a difference, but I guess you're right. Knowledge and all that other stuff comes into play too.
Exactly. Exactly. With the years, you build experience, and you know, I can
Mm.
deal now with 15 years old guys who are super quick and super fit. They have the time to practice,
Mm.
but I can put myself down and I can put myself to learn new things, and my physical shape is just fine. I don't care about the physical shape. Now is just I have to give a chance to my brain to learn new things. That's everything. Because people, when they get a certain age,
Mm.
they used to take that age for excuse, and that's not. my way. I will never put my age like excuse. Never, never. Ever.
Yeah.
I will try. And if some 15 years old boy beat me sim racing, that's because better than me. It's not because of his age. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to learn something from this
So,
boy
okay.
to be able.
Next thing is, we talked about your sim setup. We talked about breathing and physical improvement and everything. So, do you think wearing specific things help you become a better sim racer? For example, there's the argument of wearing socks or bare feet. There's the argument of, does gloves make you any faster, or does it help you control the wheel more? I don't know, does a t-shirt stop you from sweating compared to like a long race suit? Like, I don't know, all this kind of shit, you know? You're just driving in a sim, you know? Do you really need all this extra equipment?
Yeah, I wearing gloves always uh because of the sweat and because my wheel is Alcantara, so I have to wear gloves.
Yeah.
And I'm driving on socks. Uh, Actually, is everything about muscle memory. It doesn't matter if you use gloves, socks, and whatever. It's just the way your muscles learn different things,
Yeah.
and everything is coming just naturally from muscle memory. I don't think those things really matter, but they can give you some comfort for sure.
Mm. What about the fact that, I mean, you've got natural talent, but how important is muscle memory in sim racing then? Because to me, it's, you said you put in, like, I don't know if you were being serious or not, by the way. And if you were, that's crazy that you're putting in 8 hours a day almost for like 2 years.
Oh
But if
yeah.
you build that kind of muscle memory with driving and rally and just that confidence in piloting a vehicle, especially on a very realistic sim like Richard Burns Rally, um, is it that important, muscle memory, or do you think driving has more to do with your instinct? Do you think some people are just born with the instinct of how to control a car?
Yep. So let's go back to the first question. I don't think I have that natural, how you call it? How you call
Natural
this?
instinct. So you think you're a
In,
trained product?
yeah, I think it's more about practicing.
Mm.
And with the practice, with the time, and you are that kind of mindset, you are open to learn new things, and if you have that competitive part into your character, so
Mm-hmm.
you really try to go and learn new things.
Yeah.
And muscle memory is one of the most important things, but again, muscle memory can be also bad thing because if somebody came and is faster than you and you race on your muscle memory,
Yeah.
like the definition of insanity, if you do the same fucking thing every time and expecting different result, just
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
gonna work. So
Mm.
yeah, once you learn with the practice, you build that muscle memory, but you have to be open mind and be open to learn new things. You have to explore. You have to explore all the time.
So I read somewhere that you credited iRacing for providing you with like real life skills, and you talked about it earlier when you did rally. But what real life skills are those? What, just controlling a car, or something else?
So let me tell you a story. I have a
Okay,
picture right now
I
on
like
the screen.
stories. Yeah.
On that picture there is a Peugeot car driving in front of me. I'm with the Ford behind, and
Mm.
that was at this point I was living in UK,
Yeah.
and I didn't race real racing for about year and a half, and I used to play the wrong word. I used to race iRacing,
Yeah.
and I came back to Bulgaria and ran this Ford. Coming back from UK to Bulgaria, UK is using the wheel from the right side, and in Bulgaria is left side. So I was
Yeah.
super confused till found my place because it was completely new after 1 year and a half. Anyway,
Mm.
I said to my co-driver before we start the last stage, the car was already broken because I had a little incident before,
Yeah.
and I lost my power steering. How you call this? The
Yeah. Power steering.
steering power. Yeah.
Yeah. Power steering.
I lose at the second last stage.
So wait a second. That means your arms would have been. It would have been like going to the gym for the next
Man,
couple of stages.
I tell you how it was. It was
Yeah.
crazy. And we were about to start 18-kilometer stage downhill. And I said to my co-driver, I said, we're gonna catch this car into the stage. And he was laughing with me. And after 15 kilometers, I catch the car.
Oh.
It was 1 minute different and I catch the car.
So this is the photo that we were looking at with the white car in front.
And I just know I'm quick. I know I'm quick, and I tell the boy, my co-driver, before the race, I tell him, look, you're gonna see another driver now. I used to race iRacing, and I learned so many new things, and I was driving super wrong from the Richard Burns rally, and I learned how to be smooth. I learned how I lose my time.
Mm-hmm.
I was already, because I already had with different cars this stage 5 times, so I know my times. I was 2 minutes faster on that 18-kilometer stage just from iRacing. It wasn't the car, it was iRacing and driving. And that I did that without power on my steering. I used to corner, and on the apex, I use my ankle to keep the wheel there because the wheel were pushing the opposite side. I use my ankle to keep it there because it was super hard, and it's like 500 corners, and we still touch the car in front. And when I did the move to pass the car, he was super scared because he's not used to track racing. But I had that big experience on track, so I know how to pass a car. When I passed the car, he lost his pace notes, and I had to drive 3 kilometers just on what I'm seeing without pace notes.
This is the photo that I was talking about, where it looks like you've got the Russian flag on your car. Because I swear it's blue. Can you see it? It looks blue on the car. I swear.
Yeah, it can be the light. Yeah, it can be the light, but
it's probably the lighting. Because I was like, wait a second, I don't remember you being Russian. But anyway, there it is. The last thing I want to ask about this is, do you think Richard Burns Rally? We talked about it before. It's still the best rally sim out there. Do you think there's any others that have come out that you think they're better?
From rally sim, definitely still the better one with the physics. They have really great physics. But iRacing rally cars are like next level. I mean, the rally, the iRacing Rallycross is real, really. I feel like if they give me a real car now into track, and probably in 2 hours, I will put some really fast waps. I'm sure.
So the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series, one of, you know what, I'm going to be biased. One of the best world championships out there. The thing that I always ponder about is whether or not that Global Rallycross deal, the GRC deal, would have actually came into play, because it seemed like iRacing had a deal with them. Do you think that would have changed the nature of the World Championship? Would have had a lot more exposure for sure.
Yeah, that's a shame, man. I couldn't believe when that happened. Really, I was so excited that GRC was in Red Bull and all this stuff. I really hope some really big company is going to involve into this.
Because
such a beautiful sport.
What made it so, like, I'm the same with you. Like, I was pretty annoyed when it happened and pretty devastated. But you had Mitchell de Jong, a real-life GRC driver, also racing in the iRacing Rallycross Series as well, who won the championship anyway, Mitchell de Jong. You had that. It was a great avenue for drivers to have exposure and for people to... because GRC were posting articles every week about Dirt Night when that was on.
Yes, they did. I remember that every week.
Yeah. And that was so good, because it was like, wow, people are reading these, people are enjoying it. It's esports. They're really getting involved. It was like the first organization I'd seen really embrace sim racing, a first real world organization. I'd never seen any other organization or racing series do that. So then the thing that annoyed me as well is coming from a broadcaster perspective, it left me with less exposure. For me as a
Yeah,
broadcaster,
yeah,
it almost affected everyone negatively, even iRacing
yeah.
as well. But now I think the good news is there's still a chance that someone else will get involved, but I don't just want to name sponsor. Like you've got the Peak Antifreeze series, which is great, and Peak's a great partner of iRacing, but when you have GRC, it's like it's a real life racing series. The same with now the Porsche World Championship that's coming into play, and I don't know what could have been. There's so much we can talk about with this.
I can tell you something.
Yeah,
We are we are like pioneers. Sim racing is, how did Porsche say, is sleeping giant?
Sleeping Giant. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Sim racing growing and is growing really fast exponentially. And I've said this for years that sim racing is gonna be a super big deal in few years, and it's already from last year with
Mm.
the $1 million Las Vegas, race. It became super popular around.
Wait,
Even it
$1 million
was a
race?
bit, yeah, it was a bit disaster with the. Okay, it's my opinion about the sim they used because I'm super hardcore
R Factor
iRacing.
2?
I don't know which sim was, but it didn't look that well. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, so much money is involved already, and so much company, and this is super big industry, and is
Mm.
growing. So
So wait, what's simulated well in IRX and what isn't? Because this is coming from you, who's a real life rally driver who's done it before. What's the good and the bad?
I don't see any bad, really.
So
I don't
everything's
see
good.
anybody. For me, I can't complain about anything of
Mm.
Rallycross, really, anything. They make this really perfect. The only thing is we need some tracks. We need more tracks and tracks. That's everything. But that's
Yeah.
gonna come with the time. So I'm not in rush. We already have 8 tracks, so we have enough to have that our championship. And the community is building step by step. I can see so many new people who are super fast, and you will be surprised. This year, the competition will be super tough. It will
No,
be super tough.
I hope
Uh,
so. It's just concerning because community involvement almost and sort of participation seems to have dropped off. I remember when Rallycross was first released on iRacing, that
week
first
13,
the first week or two was crazy. There was so many people on. There were like 14 splits at one stage
yeah,
at like the worst
yeah.
hour of the day, and now it's dropped off. Like you'll be lucky to get in, 2 splits going in a rookie series race.
That look, that is like the real world. I mean,
Mm.
iRacing is definitely the most serious sim around,
Mm.
definitely from competition. And I remember the week 13 when they released the Rallycross, there was every 30 minutes, there was 700 to 1,000 people registered for the next race. That kept for entire week.
Yeah.
And then we came into normal season and people race different leagues. They have different priorities. That's the main. And it's like the real world. They enjoy rallycross. They really enjoy it. But
Mm.
everybody came back to his own path, because if you want to be good at something, you, you have to stick to this. You cannot jump just from car to car and expecting some big things.
So when you say you were practicing so much for Richard Burns Rally, how much were you practicing per week for the Rallycross series? Like surely a
That's
couple to few hours a day.
that's another thing. Actually, I practiced a lot in the beginning.
Mm.
Like every free time I was on the sim, trying to learn the cars and the setups and stuff like this.
Mm.
And I did in the beginning very well. And then I practice a lot till we qualify and take that pro
Mm.
license. And then when the championship starts, somehow I quit practicing. I don't know why I didn't have, probably because the team I had at this time, most of the guys were Americans and they were used to racing practice actually late.
Yeah.
Me.
Vuzion Racing you're
And
talking about.
yeah, Vuzion Racing. And you cannot practice alone. Practicing alone is just again the
It's not the same. I know. I did it in
uh,
2014 for almost a full season. I think 95% of the time I practiced on my own. And you can still
you
do well, but you miss out on secrets from your teammates
you
and other
need
stuff.
you need competition. You need competition.
Mm,
That's the main thing. If you
yeah.
wanna go well, you need always somebody who is faster than you.
To
That's what
push
you really
yourself.
need. Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
Formula One teammate factor as well. So wait, talking about Vuzion, are you still part of them for this season? I feel like you've left the team. There's been no news from that.
Oh, Vuzion Racing. Yeah. So I have to. Yeah, there is some news about it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not anymore part of Vuzion Racing,
Ooh.
but I have to say, guys from Vuzion Racing, I still love you, and we spent a really beautiful year together, and we enjoy so much our racing. And you know, Joe, Connor, Josh, Garrett, Masida, we had great time, really. But this year, what happened with me is I was still part of Apex Racing because of the PSRTC Pro Series we run.
Yes. That's when I first
And
heard about you as well. I saw you racing there
yeah,
like 4 or 5 years ago.
yeah. And Apex Racing really want to involve Rallycross.
Mm.
And yeah, I had to go back. I had to go back to Apex. And I mean, Apex, I love the guys from Apex, and we spend so much time together, so I couldn't
Yeah.
resist and tell them, no, I'm gonna stick with. Yeah.
I, I'm looking at this now. I don't think I'm looking at my commentary notes. There isn't an Apex Racing UK driver from the Rallycross World Championship, so you've got the team started there. If you stay with the team and when before the season starts, that is, who knows where you'll be in a few months' time?
Yeah, I can tell you what happened for the previous season.
Yeah.
Alex came to me at the last moment and
Mm.
asked me, you know, to share information about rallycross and stuff. And I said, look, Alex, I already work with the Vuzion Racing for so long time. I can't leave them now.
Yeah.
I have to make this championship with them. And Alex is, you know, he is really nice. Understand what I'm talking about.
Mm.
Yeah. But this year we talked from the beginning that we have to involve Apex into every world championship. So there is some really good news coming very soon about Apex, but
Hmm.
I'm not allowed to say anything right
Oh,
now.
that's what they all say. I'm sick of that. You can never
Yeah,
say.
sorry.
You can
So
never
I asked,
reveal anything. I hate
you
that.
know, I asked several times, can I? And they said, no, not now.
Well,
We
then
have
you
to
know
wait.
what? You guys just shouldn't tell me that there's good news coming, because then I won't get excited about it. Now I feel stressed. I feel like I need to know.
No, don't. Maybe you can make your podcast once with Alex.
Oh,
Gonna have fun, guys. Yeah,
well, Alex Simpson, he's
Alex.
invited.
Yeah.
Tell him right now. He's
Yeah.
listening to this. He's invited. Come on right now. Message me. He's coming on. We've got one full hour with Alex
Nice.
Simpson. Me and him actually. The thing with Alex is, whenever we get to chatting, we talk a lot. It's good. We get
Yeah.
along well. We just never chat. That's the thing. We chat like once a year, and it's a great
Man, he's
chat.
super busy. You know, Alex is so he's working on 10 different projects, and I don't know how
Yeah.
this guy is.
He doesn't
I
even have
mean,
time to race.
yeah, that doesn't even have time, and he's still competitive. Even with that, you know, little time he had for practice, he's still competitive. He's
Mm.
fast. But sometimes I ask him, "Well, come on, bro, you have to sleep or something," and he try the best, but yeah, right now he's super busy. Yeah.
So going back to the Rallycross World Championship, there were a few cool stories. Round one was a good start. I thought it went really well. The broadcast, the racing, everything went really well for round one. Close finish as well. It was like the perfect way to kick off an inaugural series. But I want to go all the way to Garrett Lowe's victory. which
Yeah.
was, oh, I don't know. Were you in that feature race when it happened? That was one of the craziest races I've ever seen in my
It
life.
was. It was. I had, that race, I felt like I am super quick on Iowa.
Mm,
I was quick, actually. I was really quick on
yeah.
this track. I was prepared for this race. And yeah, I didn't manage to win the hit race. Mitchell got it from me. But then I felt like I have the pace. And we had that little contact with Michelle on the side hairpin.
Yeah.
Was just little, but put me on the roof.
Oh
So I
yeah,
was
you
done for
you
this
finished
race.
that race. I remember now.
Yeah, I finished it, but I had to tone myself and just try to make few laps to get to the finish to take the points. That was the most important thing to me, to take the point.
Yeah.
And then Johnny and Michelle had that crazy race, and it was dogfight. It was dogfight.
Yeah. And look, I think the thing with you was you were probably, well, not probably. I thought you were the quickest driver who didn't win a race last season because you had. I'm looking at all the race winners now: De Jong, Heikkinen, Fox. Who else we had? We had Johan Hart actually won a race,
Yeah, he
and
did
of course
too.
Garrett Lowe had that surprising victory. And Garrett Lowe was your teammate too, so he would have rubbed it in your face. But you finished fourth in the championship, and everybody in the top six won a race except for you. And I mentioned it in the broadcast. I said if I had to pick anybody to win an event, it'd probably be you. But it's just, I guess there's a little bit of luck sometimes that you need in the feature race.
Uh, no, Johnny, you know what? It wasn't about luck or something. It was I found my mistake because after the championship, I think about it. I love to think about everything. So
Yeah,
I found that I wasn't never ready to win race just because I never practiced the warm track.
yeah,
And I can tell you why Garrett win because Garrett maybe is not that fast on fresh track, but Garrett is super fast on warm track, and he had the pace to win on warm track.
yeah,
My problem was I never get ready for warm tracks, and then when I managed to, because I was quick on fresh conditions, I can make good quality, and then I can qualify for the final. But then on the final, I just didn't know how to drive the car fast because
hmm
it's completely different driving. It's so dynamic, the rallycross. This
yeah. And the track
the
conditions.
beginning
Yeah.
with the end, you can't compare the driving style.
Mitchell used to speak about it, and you were with us after every race. I mean, you, Mitchell,
Uh,
and a couple other guys used to always stay back and chat. And Mitchell spoke about the track conditions that were so dramatic, and it felt like it was one of the most difficult things to master, apart from just controlling the car itself.
it is, it is. It's super difficult. It felt like you drive on. I can compare with Monaco stage, like Monte
Mm.
Carlo. I mean, rally stage is like you drive on how you call this on tarmac, and then you hit
Yeah,
the
yeah,
black ice, and the car just starts sliding, and the little slide can
yeah,
cost you for one corner 1 second. Is so big different. It's just crazy, and you have to practice a lot this. And I found that where is my mistake, and I'm getting ready for this year. But I can tell you from now, there is some people who are super fast, and this year is gonna be crazy. Trust me, it's gonna be crazy.
There was a point in last season where, and I want to ask from a driver's perspective, from your eyes, Mitchell de Jong seemed to switch on the jets and take off with like a few races remaining because Joni Heikkinen had the championship lead.
Yeah.
But was it Heikkinen's demise? Do you think he cracked under pressure or something happened? Or do you think Mitchell de Jong just sort of said, oh, I've really got to sort of put in a bit more effort and start winning a few more races?
Nah, they were equal. It's just racing. You never know who. They both deserve to get it. I don't think Johnny did anything wrong. He did super well till the end.
Mm.
And if you remember Phoenix, that incident where Mitchell didn't manage to take the spot from the heat and he had to make through the cancellation. And on cancellation, there was super big incident and somebody hit the tire and came into his car. And
Yeah.
his car didn't even move. And he were able to finish that race. That was
Yeah.
pretty much, the most. It's about luck, mostly about luck. because they both were on the same freaking level. They were.
I still feel like De Jong realizing that Häkkinen was starting to take over. I feel like De Jong sort of just picked up his practice or started to work a little bit
Oh yeah,
harder in those final
definitely.
races.
Definitely, it was super busy season for De Jong, and he was
Yeah.
racing so different
50
series.
World Championships.
Um,
He'd be
and
practicing for
he
one
did
car.
everywhere. He did
Yeah.
everywhere so well.
Um,
Yeah,
final few questions before we go. I'm going to knock off these. Let's make this like a speed round. So you talked about it before. You raced in the BSR TCC. I forgot the acronym.
yeah, BSRTC, yeah,
BTC. Yeah.
right, yeah.
It's a place where you've had some good success. You've raced with some good teammates. Is that the most like entertaining non-world championship out there? Like it's because the real BTCC in real life is very underrated. It's such a cool racing series. Those touring car championships like V8 supercars as well in Australia, BTCC, DTM, they're very popular and very entertaining when you watch them.
John, I can tell you, this is the most craziest thing you can do in racing. I mean, too bad there is. I hope at some point there will be a world championship
In touring cars.
in BTCC style because it's all about the style. It's not just the first race is just fine, you make your qualify, you start from your qualify position and make the race, but then the things are
Yeah.
getting super excited because if you have good position, you start back. So all the fast guys getting back and trying to make places is crazy. This is the most intentional racing experience you can ever have. Just crazy. And the entire grid is sometimes the top 20 cars are into 10 seconds or less.
Yeah.
Sometimes 40 cars finish the race into 18 seconds. So close. And you go from attack to defend, and you can make just the tiniest mistake and lose 3 to 5 positions. And when I say tiny mistake, I don't say spin the car or hit something. Just don't take the right speed on the exit of the corner. It's crazy, super competitive, and you can learn a lot of how to race into this.
And and you raced against Ashley Sutton, who
Oh
was
yeah,
2017
monster.
British touring car champion as well, who
Yeah.
was in iRacing. That's remarkable. That dude, he was
And
like the nicest guy ever. I used to commentate on this sort of they called it Champions of the Future. I don't know if you raced in it. And Ashley was like one of the sort of people who managed the league. And he was great, he managed it. He loved spending time with the guys and everything, and he's really down to earth guy. So anyway, congrats to him. But it was cool. You've raced against like top talent from those series.
yeah, Ashley, I know the boy from he was probably 17 years old, and he
Mm.
was still racing the karts, and he had all the all the karting tracks records with the kartings. And I was at that time I was the fastest guy with the Kia. And when
Yeah.
he came first time on the first race, we fight for the win, the first race, and I said to myself, "Oh, who is this guy?" And then I met him, and then I watched his entire career through, whatever car he was racing, Formula Ford, he got champion. Then he did the Clio Cup, super
Yeah.
competitive championship.
He was
It,
quick.
yeah, he win that. Whatever car he takes, he's champion material. He's just brutal. He's such a great talent. And the only thing is he use iRacing for practicing. He don't really care about championships. So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
he
yeah.
do is he just race, race. That's his
Can I?
nature.
So,
Brilliant guy.
final question. We're going to be quick with this, but I found out somewhere. Don't ask me how. When you were racing a Richards Burns rally, you had something called Cheppy's Corner. Can you tell me what that was about?
Pepe, what?
Do you remember this? Cheppy's Corner? You had you did some like coaching for other people in terms of rally driving and other stuff going on. It was back like 7, 8 years ago. Surely you remember this.
No, I don't. But I have a little problem with my memories. I don't remember so many things. I have to
Oh,
think hard. Yeah. I don't
you
know.
probably
I just
crashed too much
work.
in the sim. It's not
No,
it's not a motion sim, is it though?
no, I didn't crash at all. I mean, I when I practicing, because I practice to the limit, I crash. But once I race, I always try to be, consistent and finish that. That is always my goal.
No, cool. Anything to plug before we go? Your website, Twitch. You don't know if you stream on Twitch. You stream on YouTube, Facebook as well.
Yeah, I put some videos on YouTube. I make some fun videos because I really want to inspire people involved into sim racing. It's such a beautiful world, and we are like one giant family right now.
Yeah.
It's nice. And then I just start streaming on Facebook. But I do all this for fun, and my main thing is, I love to stream for you guys once the RaceSpot was into the World Championship, so you can jump into my camera, and I'm going to use that way the stream. I'm gonna share my stream with the broadcasts
Yeah.
I'm racing in because we have to bring that sim racing into the next level. We have to do it. We all work on this like a family, so have to involve as many sponsors.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Simon Racing Report, episode 79. I'm pretty sure. Is it 79 or is it 80? One of the two. We're getting close. I can't believe we're not at 100 because this podcast began in late 2015. My God, we've been through just over 3 years, almost 3.5 years. We haven't even got through 100 episodes. So hopefully we get to that. We will get to that this year at some point. I don't think I'll do anything special to celebrate or any of those gimmicks. It will probably just be another normal episode. But regardless of that, feel free to subscribe as well at the SimonRacingReport.com. That website is below somewhere. You'll see it at the bottom of the screen. Follow me on Twitter as well at JohnnyS8. Chepilevski's Twitter was there as well. Like the podcast page on Facebook. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave a comment. Oh, God, I keep forgetting what else you can do. Rate it. You can't rate things anymore on YouTube. Oh, leave a podcast rating on iTunes and Stitcher. We don't have enough of those. We need as many 5-star ratings as we can get, obviously. If you're not going to give it a 5-star, just don't do anything. So we'll sneakily pretend that it's always 5 stars. And leave anything out. You can catch the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, the RSS feed. It's getting everywhere now. I've ran out of places for this podcast to be on. But most of all, feel free to donate as well, of course. There is a link on the Simon Racing Report website. If you go to the website, as I said earlier, if you find this logo, how massive is that logo? I like it. If you find that logo, you're at the right place. There'll be a donate link on the homepage. Feel free to donate anything you feel the need to. It'll be much appreciated. It'll just help me contribute to producing more content like this, analysis videos, more columns as well. All that kind of stuff. But most of all, hope you enjoyed. See you soon for the next episode. Catch ya.